everyone, welcome back to Studio 33 Art by Kay. Today I'm going to be doing a piece called Oranges and Lemons, and it's going to be, surprisingly, all orange and then the one lemon colour. I thought I'd do these colours. I know a lot of people like the blues, but it's nice to do some warm colours for a change as well. And this is what we call a double dip, where you put two canvases or tiles together, pull them apart, and that's your double dip. Now I'm doing this for the beginners because this is a great technique for beginners. Good technique for everybody, but beginners in particular can get great results from this particular technique. So today I'm using two 20 centimetre by 20 centimetre ceramic tiles, which I've just cleaned off with isopropyl alcohol. And I'm going to be drizzling the paints all over. I'm not putting a base paint down because I'm going to be putting quite a lot of paint, a lot of colour. If you're doing one of these, you can put a base if you like, and particularly if it's a colour that you want to feature in your piece and you want it to come through. But today I'm just going to be drizzling the paints all over and putting plenty on there if I can. Right, so I'll read out the colours as we go. The first one is the Global Coral, which I've mixed with a bit of iridescent paint, just to give it a bit of iridescence. Now I'm just putting these paints down on one tile first, so that will be this one obviously, and making sure my edges get covered. The next colour is the Eraldo Metallic Burst Orange, which is a beautiful colour. So these paints are mixed to a medium consistency, just where they, when drizzled back into the paint, they just form a little mound for a couple of seconds and then disappear. Now I am going to be putting a lot of paint on here because I don't have a base. So it's going to be this beautiful mishmash of all these lovely orangey colours. This one is the Global Burnt Orange, as opposed to the Eraldo Burst Orange. Very similar colour, only it's not metallic. All over there. And this one is the Global Warm Yellow. So I'm going to try now to sort of get that into spots where I can see there's not so much paint. So I'm just drizzling that on. The next one is the Eraldo Orange. All of these paints have been mixed with Australian Floetrol. I don't use any silicone. I've had problems in the past when I've tried to wash it off to resin my tiles, so I prefer not to use it. I know people do have a lot of success using silicone to get cells, and it's certainly, if you haven't had a go at it, something that you might like to, but you do have to make sure that you wash it off very well before you varnish or resin. And the next colour is the Eraldo Wattle, which for those of you watching from the US or Canada or the UK, wattle is a beautiful native plant we have here in Australia. And it has the most gorgeous yellow flowers on it. And hence this colour. Okay, I've nearly covered all the tile. When you do a double dip, usually the tile or the canvas that's on the bottom will end up with the most paint still on it. And now I'm just going to be putting on some of the Eraldo Metallic Copper, just to bring a bit of metallics into there. And that will really pop. So I think I've filled up most of the places I can see where there's no paint. And just make sure you've got your edges covered too. It's always better to have them covered before you do the double dip rather than after. And I'm going to put down a tiny bit of the Amsterdam titanium white cell activator that I had left over from the other day. And I'm just going to just throw that in the mix. And hopefully that will help to create some cells in here as well. And also add a little contrast. So there's your big mishmash of all the different colours. And so now I'm taking my other tile, you can see here, I'm going to place it on top and gently press down. Now the edges of this guy haven't been done, so I'll have to fix those up afterwards, whereas the bottom one, when the paint squishes out, will be completely covered. So I need to put enough pressure on here that I don't lose all my paint, but that enough of it will transfer onto the top tile. Now the tricky part is being able to separate them because the suction will have formed, so I've got to try and push down on the bottom one as I pull up on the top one to wish me luck. Don't want it to move around too much because that'll blur my pattern. Okay, here we go, and we're off. And there you have it. Beautiful colours, oranges and lemons. You can see the cell, where I put the cell activator coming up. Once I hit that with the heat torch, they should really come up. And there's your bottom one. So even though they're basically the same, they are still very different. So a beautiful piece, lovely colours. I'm going to hit that now, put this to one side. Excuse me, stretching across there. And I'm just going to hit that with the heat torch just to bring up some of that cell, those cells which I can see developing here. It's always amazing what people can see when they're looking into these. They can always see all sorts of little animals and things like a crocodile head coming up there and all sorts of things. These cells are looking really quite cool. Okay, so always make sure your edges are completely covered, particularly on your top one, which they won't be. So I will make sure I'll bring that one back onto here, and make sure that you wipe underneath as well to get off any drips. Otherwise your paint will continue to drop off. All right, so I'm going to put this one aside and bring the other one back and fix up the edges. That's that for today. I will do a close-up as well, and hope you enjoyed that. That shows you, you know, you can create something with beautiful colours. Someone that loves those warm colours will really love that. And we'll leave that there for today, and I'll bring you down for a close-up. See you soon. Bye. Okay, so here we come for a close-up. I'm going to show them as two separate little videos because they're in two separate places. So this is the one that was on the bottom. And as you can see, it's got quite a lot of paint still on there. It will dry fine though. And you can see these lovely cells that have cropped up. And where you've done the double dip, it gives you all these little patterns on there. And all different little shapes. Here's my little crocodile hiding there. And something there, some little cells that have come up where I put that cell activator, sprinkled that in. It has brought up some nice little cells. Okay, so that's the first one. So I'll come back in a sec with the second one. Okay, so this is the one that came off from the top. And as you can see, it's another nice tile. The colours actually aren't showing very well on the screen here. They're showing all browns and yellows. It's not like that at all. It's actually really a very pretty tangerine orange colour, most of it. but you can see some of the cells that have come through where I put the little sprinkler cell activator on there. There's some various little creatures in amongst. I look forward to hearing what some of you can see in there. Oh, there's a strange face. Interesting. Everybody can see something different. Oh, there's a different eye and a mouth there. Very interesting. Okay, so that's what the second one looks like. I've put it, plonked it back into the middle of all of that paint that was left on the piece of paper there, and I've then pushed that up to cover the edges. So now this one's got a well covered edges, as you can see. So it was easy as that. So now I'll put these in a nice level surface to dry, and I'll also wipe any drips from underneath as well to make sure that the paint doesn't get drawn off with those. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you back here in Studio 33 very soon. Bye-bye.